Gary Bailey.
Yeah, my toys are here.
You're all set?
Right, bring it on. Yes.
Okay. As a Man United legend, you love to hammer Liverpool and Arsenal. So let's start with the Gunners. Arsene Wenger, 22 years at Highbury and then the Emirates. And now he's saying, do you know what? I was a prisoner of my own ambition. He says he should have left earlier.
You make me laugh, Arsene Wenger. Seriously, I'm shocked. I mean, everyone's been saying that to Arsene Wenger. They've been saying you've got to go. In fact, Tony Adams, one of the greatest players for Arsenal of all time, said 3 years ago, please, boss, you've got to go. It's time. When your own players say it's time, when they're saying you can't do more, you've got to leave. But in fairness to him, his wife had left him. He said he got buried in football. It was all he had left in life was Arsenal. And he didn't want to listen to everybody else. So there's a personal side of it that's tough. And now that he's away from it, he can see that, yeah, he should have left 3-4 years ago.
You're going to make me cry, Gary.
Well, it's true.
We're getting very emotional here on the Extra. Maurizio Sarri, a fella who turns 60 next January, a fella who's never coached outside of Italy, now lands himself at Stamford Bridge, managing for a club led by Abramovich. He's only going to last 6 months, Gary.
What? Six months? You're kidding. Come on, you are talking. He's a fantastic manager, this guy. He's wonderful. What he did at Napoli, up until literally 3 games from the end, he was in with a chance of winning Serie A from the mighty Juventus. I think he's a fantastic manager in every way. Yes, he's got some problems with English, but he's got Gianfranco Zola there to help him. Will he have some challenges?
The Premier League, Abramovich, it's just a different setup altogether.
He's a solid pro, this guy. I think he'll put that stuff aside. He'll manage it. His problem is if Courtois does go to Real Madrid, and there's still talk of Hazard maybe going, he's going to have to replace him. But he's brought in Jorginho. He probably needs to bring in, and you've mentioned 1 or 2 that might come, including Higuain. He's got some pressure, but he'll last way more than 6 months. A couple of years at least, because he is that good a manager.
I'm sure you were smiling today with all the links that Alisson could be about to break the world record fee spent on a goalkeeper in joining Liverpool. Now, Jurgen Klopp, you know, he doesn't spend much money on players. Or so he said back in 2016. Other clubs can go out and spend more money and collect top players. I want to do it differently, he said, Gary. I'd even do it differently if I could spend that money. I wouldn't do it differently, excuse me, if he could spend that money.
I'm just laughing. I'm laughing. Why? Because you should never, ever go and talk about what other clubs do. Let other clubs do whatever. The moment you go, that club shouldn't do this and this club shouldn't do that, and it's karma. It's going to come back and bite you one day. So, Jurgen, you made a mistake there criticising other clubs. But I tell you, it's a good choice of goalkeeper, and he can't stick with Karius. Karius is done. Mignolet is not good enough. Liverpool need a good goalkeeper, and this guy is really good. And if they can keep Salah and keep the rest of their team, Liverpool become a real threat to Manchester City.
Diego Maradona, a fellow you remember, you were at that game back in 1986. He's still making headlines. He was at the World Cup with those gestures, let's just say, from the crowd. And now Maradona has been unveiled as the chairman of Dinamo Brest in Belarus. And it's not just your regular unveiling, Gary. He tears through the streets on a tank. On a tank. What's your emotional response to this?
The things you do for this. Diego, please. I mean, he was one of the greatest players, and since then it's been a downward slide. He had cocaine problems. He became manager of Argentina, which we thought was going to be good. That fell apart. Then he went to coach in the Middle East. It's been going down, and now, where'd you say he is? Estonia? Where?
Belarus.
Belarus. In a tank. Seriously. Come on, Maradona. You can do better. I was going to use the word disgrace, but I won't.
You know who did better than that?
Go on.
Duvan Zapata, in signing for Atalanta. This is absolutely epic. This is epic. Please, please unveil players in this way more often. He's coming in on a crane, Gary. Imagine when Manchester United signed you that they ask you to do that.
What is he holding? A Roman cat? He could be out for 6 months with burns here. Hang on a sec. Here's my... It's got to be this emoji, hasn't it? He's on fire, but literally, what if he had 3rd-degree burns over his body and he can't play for the next 6 months? A gust of wind or something blows it onto you. Come on, what are they doing?
Atalanta, top-class club. Now, a manager has stepped aside today, and it's quite an emotional one, and this one is quite emotional in many ways. Einar Algrimsson, 7 years managing with Iceland. He was doing it with someone else, Lars Lagerbäck, as well, but now he was by himself since the Euros when they beat England, and he brought them to their first ever World Cup. He steps aside today to continue working as a dentist.
Seriously, he's going to work as a dentist after all that excitement.
Yeah.
You know what he's going to need? Lots of this, because he's done, I mean, it's unbelievable. First ever World Cup. They were great in the Euros, as you say, beating England. It's been a stunning, and that clap they brought to the world has been brilliant. And you're going to go and pull out teeth for the rest of your life and drill holes in teeth? Man, it's going to be a tough few years after all that
different world.
Excitement. Yeah.
Different world. The accomplishment of Iceland, especially
Brilliant.
with him in charge,
Brilliant.
absolutely phenomenal. Really good to see. All right, over the course of the World Cup, France found themselves in a bit of a tricky spot when they had fire extinguishers go off at a hotel. The hotel was evacuated, and now Rami, their defender, has taken the blame. He said, look, it was me. This was at a crucial stage of the World Cup as well. All hell breaking loose.
He said, fire extinguishers. I don't know. I think it's a laugh. It takes the pressure off the rest of the team in the middle of the World Cup, doesn't it?
I mean, I think so. There's all sorts of stories about this. The Italian side used to get, Pirlo used to get the fire extinguishers. They'd knock on the players' doors and set it off in their faces and stuff like that. That's in his book as well. I'm sure you got up to antics like that in your day, did you?
We did all sorts of fun things. You have to. I mean, it's pressure. You're travelling around together. And I mean, silly things. We used to travel long distances on pre-season tours. And you wait till someone falls asleep and then fill a cup, put it on their head, and wake them up with a shout, and as they turn, the cup just falls. I mean, it's the silliest, childish, but did we laugh? Was that funny?
Well, that's with the group, though. But on your own time, you can do your own thing. And Sergio Ramos is off enjoying himself right now over in Ibiza. James Harden, the Houston Rockets, there he is. Partying hard, and rightly so. Didn't do that well at the World Cup, but Champions League title.
That's what he's still celebrating. That is it for him? 4 now, 4 Champions League titles. Was it 5?
Incredible.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's brilliant, and he deserves to party. And to be fair with Spain, it wasn't the defence that was the weekness. I felt up front they lacked a little bit. So,
did you enjoy the emojis, Gary, today?
That was a good laugh. Yeah.